I had these ideas about really wanting to pop the sim out of the screen and into the space so that learners could work on it, looking at each other, manipulating things with their body, with their hands, and really getting a sense of exploration together. And then I happened upon a paper by Dor Abramson. And in this paper, he had sketched out an idea for an interactive learning tool where you had a physical manipulative device setting between two learners. So you had learners facing each other and manipulating this device together. And I thought, this is it. This person really understands the kinds of things that I wanted to be exploring, and they were at the place of beginning to explore those ideas as well with this sketch. So I reached out to Dor. Out of those conversations came the ideas for the quadrilateral learning tool.
I was fascinated by the difference between imagining a parallelogram as it twists over and flattens, and the actual haptic experience of doing that with your hands. There had been research on this a long time ago, and that inspired me to actually build a gadget in the shape of a parallelogram. So you can imagine the square of 4 chopsticks with the edges sticking out. But this clunky thing let me experiment with the feeling of twisting a parallelogram. I was fascinated by this and especially excited when I realized that flattening a parallelogram takes our hands along the circumference of a circle. Where the heck did the circle come from?
Touch is a critical part of the learning process, right? The way we move, the way we experience learning content brings it to life. So bringing that touch dimension back into digital educational materials is critically important for enhancing and elevating the next generation of learning technologies.
Quad offers learners opportunities to interact with geometry in a dynamic way. So rather than traditional media where shapes would be introduced in a static form, this is a square, this is a parallelogram, they're getting the opportunity to control and experience the transformations between different shapes. And that helps them to more deeply understand the relationships and properties of these shapes.
So when a kid is manipulating the quad, they develop new orientations towards the object. I mean, perceptual orientations that enable them to act in a way that solves the task. These new perceptual orientations, or what conceptual understanding is made of,
Really, we're also using it as an example of a whole new genre of learning tools that are focused on allowing different modalities to work together. So you can couple a tangible device with the on-screen simulation, and then with the auditory display, you can have a whole learning experience where you might not even look at the screen at all.
From a speed perspective, a special education embodied design perspective, the quad is so exciting because it has this unprecedented level of flexibility of different types of inputs and ways of engaging with concepts. And many of these ways have started from the practices of different populations, such as blind and visually impaired learners.
It's the first tool that we've designed that really can fully adapt to the needs of many different learners, like with the use of the tangible and the virtual and the voicing and the sound. And everyone can kind of either see or hear what's happening at the same time, and they're all learning with the same tool. No one gets sidelined using a separate tool in a corner all by themselves or with their headphones on, but they can use the tool together.
But the quad is really just the starting point of the reimagination of a toolkit of these tangible manipulatives that you can reconfigure and connect together in new configurations to interact across multiple simulations and to discover new learning concepts through touch.
The quad is in a sense, a next generation beyond thinking about each population's access, in that it's starting to think across different learners of different profiles and creating contexts where they can make meaning together despite coming in through different modalities and experiences.